Hey guys, welcome to Red 50. Thank you for tuning into another video. If you're in the channel, thank you for stopping by. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. So today we've got some big news regarding the S650 Mustang, which will be the 7th generation of the Mustang. Since early 2022, we've been seeing a lot of spy shots being leaked for the S650 Mustangs, but the thing is they were like heavily camouflaged where we just could not extract any details out. There was a lot of speculation. I've made some videos on my thoughts on those, but overall it was just very difficult to really get some real information out of it. All we really knew was that it looked very similar to the S550 Mustang, which was part of my concern, but I didn't want to, have my final thoughts until I saw something that was not camouflaged. Well, today we've got something interesting regarding the S650 Mustang. Someone at Ford power plant or the testing facility decided to risk their job and posted this front fascia of the S650 Mustang. Check it out right here. Yes guys, there we have it. This is going to be the new S650 Mustang, going to be launching in the 2024 model year. Probably going to be announced soon. If not, hoping for an announcement maybe mid 2022 or something, but definitely late 2022 because it's going to come out of the 2024 model year, so that means it's going to be launching in 2023. So obviously they need to create the hype, get the specs out, start taking the orders in to make sure they're ready to go as a 2024 model year. Hopefully all the chip shortage does not affect this being a 2024 model year. I would hate to see this being pushed 2025. But let's talk about the design right now that has been leaked, where we can completely see the S650's front fascia, and let's talk about it. Obviously, alright, so right off the bat, the angle of the picture, we just can't tell much from it, in the sense that it looks very similar to the S550. Of course, you got a completely new headlight design, which is somewhat reminiscent of the Mustang Mach-E. So you can see kind of like instead of the tri-bar headlight design, it's got the 3 box LED type of things going on. I wonder if it's going to be sequential like the Mustang Mach-E. Mustang lights have always been very iconic and really have a cool factor associated with them, in the taillights at least. And I feel like with this, having a sequential headlights, it's really going to make it extremely cool for the Mustang. Now let's take a look at the grille. So you can see the pony logo, which is obviously standard with any Mustang. In terms of the grille, it seems like it's a lot more wider than what we currently have, which means, at least for this, seems like a base model, so it looks kind of empty. The reason I think it's a base model, if you look at the wheels, you can kind of see they're like very 17 inches wheel. They don't look all that nice. So maybe it's a base model because I would expect it to have something, because normally, S197 had the fog lights for the GTs, and the S550 had those fangs in the grille for the Mustang GTs. So I wonder if they're going to fill up with something that's going to be unique to the Mustang GTs. Otherwise, as of right now, I think it's just a little bit too long and too wide, in my opinion. There just needs to be something that will fill up between the grills. Now let's take a look at the lower front fascia of the S650 Mustang. It kind of reminds me of the front end of the Mustang Mach-1, which I do like because I have a 2019 Mustang GT, which I absolutely love in terms of its design, but for some reason, I didn't think the lower fascia would really make a big difference. But what Mach-1 did with its front end styling, I really dig it. I wish they would sell kits that I can swap them out on my Mustang GT. The one thing I don't really like about this front end, because the fact that we can't see the rest of the body, if you just look at it, just the front fascia that's not camouflaged, it looks a little boring, if I'm being honest. And that's the thing with the Mustangs, because traditionally Mustangs have been always like very aggressive, but this one, if you just look at it from the front end, it kind of looks tame and boring. And that's part of my concern has been with all these camouflage spy shots, and now this leak is it doesn't have the Mustang feeling. Yes, it still retains some of the Mustang's iconic, like the tri-bar headlights, and it's got the pony logo, and it's got somewhat of a similar front fascia to the Mustang Mach-1. If you look at just the front itself, it doesn't have the aggressive characteristic that we come to expect out of a Mustang. From these shots, you can also tell there's no front splitter. I don't know if that's going to be just because it's a base model, or maybe because it's a tester run, they don't have a front splitter hooked up. If you can tell from the front shots, there's no front splitter, which makes it look very tame and almost like a sedan. If you were to kind of step back, it kind of reminds me of the Ford Taurus sedan. And I know when the S550 Mustang first came out, people were like, it looks like a Ford Fusion. It turned out to be a beautiful design. So I'm not going to, cast any judgment just yet. I want to see the whole thing, especially in person, because I feel like most of these designs and redesigns and sometimes just don't photograph well, and until you see them in person, it totally changes your mind. That was me in my 2019 Mustang GT. When the post refresh came out, I was like, this does not look good at all until I started seeing them in person, and I just kind of fell in love. Now here we have another shot of the S650 Mustang, but I don't know if I can rely too much on it because I can't tell if it's just more of a graphic design or it's an actual car there. But it obviously carries the same design elements from the one we just looked at, which was an actual photo. As you can see, it's got the 3 headlight design going on, so it might be sequential. I do like what they've done on the grille. It's got the fangs with the GT, and you can kind of see they have a similar design to GT350 where the front of the grille, or like the fangs, kind of match up to the lower splitter and making that arch, which looks really good and really beautiful in my opinion. The hood looks very similar to S550 Mustang. I mean, it doesn't have the same sloping hood that we have on the post-refresh models right now, but you can see it's kind of flat and then like it drops really all of a sudden. You can kind of see if you look at the headlight design from the corner, it's the pre-refresh S550 Mustang headlight design. Is very similar to it. So that's been my concern. I feel like it looks very similar to S550 Mustang. Hopefully Ford will announce soon, but I mean, as of right now, all the spy shots was one thing. Maybe we could be all wrong, but now we're starting to see the actual photos of the car, and they look very similar to S550 Mustang. But we do have some interior shots, which we'll cover in another video, which seems to be a complete rehaul interior, which I'm excited for. Well guys, that's what I pretty much have with these new shots being leaked for the S650 Mustang. We no longer have to worry about a full camouflage car. Yes, it still got some camouflage, but at least we can finally see the front shot of the S650 Mustang. Let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on the S650 Mustang? Are you planning on getting one? Are you happy with where Ford is heading in terms of design choices? And as always, subscribe to Red 50 for more Mustang content.